Hi, welcome to this introduction on the Splenic Clinic. I'm so glad that you decided to join us for this. This workshop is about decoding your spleen center on your human design chart so that you can feel more alive and thrive. And this is for you if you experience any of these things. If you hold yourself back because of fear or insecurity, if you struggle with your own sense of physical well-being and health, or if you struggle to thrive because you're stuck in a mindset of survival. And also if you second guess your intuition, if you feel that you know things intuitively or you have a certain awareness in the moment and then you second guess it and you hold yourself back. So the spleen center on the human design chart is located over here on the left, and this one is colored in, which means that it's defined. Now, it doesn't matter for this workshop whether you have a defined spleen center, a colored in spleen center, or if that center is white, because you will get the information that you need in order to cultivate a deeper understanding of what you're filtering through the spleen, of what your spleen pretty much is trying to tell you through the way that it operates. So the spleen holds the codes for survival awareness and survival fears, for instinct, knowing in the moment what's safe and what's not, and also for vitality and well-being. So if you're struggling with the things we just mentioned, the fear and the insecurity, your physical well-being, second guessing your intuition, getting stuck in survival, you really will benefit from learning how your spleen center functions. And in this workshop series, we have 3 very specific intentions. I really want you to understand and embrace how your spleen center functions so that you can move past your fears, you can move past your insecurities. You have a way of being aware of when that's coming up so that you can work with it and grow through it. I also want you to feel more vitality in your life, to have the tools that you need and the awareness that you need through your understanding of your spleen, through your relationship with your spleen center, so that you can cultivate vitality in your life, in your body, in the way that you're designed to do it. And thirdly, I really want you to begin to trust the intuition that you have that comes through your spleen center. And if you're defined in the spleen center, it works one way. If you're undefined in the spleen center, you're also filtering information that if you're aware of what it's about, you can bring your intuitive understanding up to the next level. So here's how this workshop series is going to work. It's going to be in 4 parts. It's actually going to be in 5 parts. There's a bonus, which I'll get to in a moment. Each week you're going to get a video lesson, and then we'll follow up with a live question and answer session that's tailored to that specific topic for that video lesson. So part 1 will be the spleen overview that will help you to get in touch with your feel good. We're going to talk about the spleen center as it relates to vitality and physical well-being. And you're going to get some tools and awarenesses and some guidance around what your spleen is trying to tell you in terms of your physical well-being and vitality. In part 2, we're going to talk specifically about the gates of the spleen as they pertain to facing your survival fears. Each gate on the spleen center actually can be experienced in a frequency band of fear. And if you're not aware of how your specific spleen center works, and it works differently if you're defined versus if you're undefined, and if you're not aware of the characteristics of the codes of fear that can be held in those gates, then you can get paralyzed in that fear and not really know why or not really know what to do about it. So this could actually be a whole workshop in itself, but I'm going to attempt to give you a good overview so that you can begin to become more aware and to work with these fears that can crop up through your spleen center. Now in part 3 and part 4, you're going to get these videos together because some of you have an undefined spleen center, some of you have a defined spleen center, and there are specific issues that pertain to the definition of your centers. And the follow on from that will be a special 2-hour question and answer session where we will work with the undefined spleen center questions in one session and the defined spleen center questions in the other, but they will be back to back. So if you have an undefined spleen, you'll want to come to the Q&A for the defined spleen because you will learn a lot about how people with a defined spleen affect you. And if you have a defined spleen, you will want to come to the Q&A for the undefined spleen because you will understand how you affect people with the undefined spleen center. So, part 1 is about your physical health and well-being, your feel-good, getting in touch with your feel-good, understanding what you're filtering through your spleen that can assist you or support you in feeling good or not. Part 2 are the gates of the spleen as they pertain to facing your survival fears. And then in part 3 and 4, we're going to break it apart and really look at the issues of the defined spleen and the issues of the undefined spleen, specifically in 2 different sections. And then I'm offering a bonus on splenic authority. If you have a splenic authority, and you can check on your chart to see if you do, this is all about decision making. And it's really important if you have this kind of decision-making authority to understand the nuances of how you make decisions, of how your spleen speaks to you when you need to make a decision. You will get a separate link to schedule for the Splenic Authority live question and answer session. So that is how it's going to work for us for the next 4 weeks. So I'm really thrilled that you are with us, and I know that you will get so much awareness out of this for how your spleen center works in the whole of your human design body graph. So thanks for coming, and continue on to the video lesson for part 1.